Public perception is absolutely unbearable because we listen to the negative more than we do the positive. A million people were like, "Oh my God, you're the greatest," but then 1,000 people were like, "You fucking suck,
bro."
It's like
I can not only relate with that, but I can also truly identify, and that's kind of just YouTube or just comment sections in general.
Mm-hmm.
If you put out something, and if it gets big enough, it's only gonna end up turning bad for you at some point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like at some point, it's just gonna be like you said, it's going to be. I posted a hi. I put a improvised comedy set online, and it says improvised comedy, the date, and my name. Mm-hmm. I put it on Reddit.
Reddit's
I know. I learned. I mean, it's hitting. I mean, these views. I'm going, whoa, these views. Look, whoa.
Yeah.
And then likes. Hey, people actually like it. That's not as many as views. Okay, I get it. But
it'd be crazy if there was more likes than views. It's crazy.
Hey, honestly though, I'll take it. And I think most people watching would probably take that. But like at one point, some guy goes, "Man, you really need to work on your skits or something." Like one of those dumb words. And again, I should have taken it from there. But then it gets to the amount of times you said like or something, and I was just like. It's literally not written. Hey, it says it provide like, but I'm like, just go and this is my mantra from forever. Anytime I put out anything and it gets good or bad reviews, ups, downs. If somebody comments and shares their views, I go, thanks for watching.
You're better than me, man. It's tough.
But no, it's still here.
It's so hard.
This isn't fat. This is actually just
just frustration.
All of those hateful comments, and I'm just like, I am pretty funny. Fuck you.
Dude, it's brutal. I battle it a lot. Like it's tough hearing somebody in Des Moines, Iowa, or Kansas being like,
I always
"This
click
wasn't
on
bad." Like,
I click on their fucking thing and I go, "Oh, you don't want
I look their
Where's your
family up,
content?
dude.
Yeah.
No, I find out who they are.
I don't have an ugly aunt, you stupid bitch.
Yeah, it's really tough because like I battle it a lot, but then I was lucky enough like just to be around Matt Rife during like the big blow up.
Yeah.
And so I got to ask him how he deals with it because he gets it on a crazy scale, on like such a
because
Kanye
he's so
level.
beautiful. Because he's so beautiful. I think that's that's my theory. He's very funny. He's the 10-year overnight success that everybody else is and everywhere. Like, but I think it's because he's so goddamn beautiful and he makes our girlfriends laugh.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's a lot of things.
I'm sorry for all the hate that I gave you, Matt. No, I'm just joking.
It's tough, dog. Because like I asked him, I was like, "How do you deal with it? How do you accept that these people who have never met you hate you?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "They're not real."
Yeah.
And he goes, "It's not the internet's not a real place." He was like, "I will never meet these people. They are very," and like it's the easy thing to just go. They're miserable in their life.
Yeah.
They have nothing going on. They have nothing better to do than to hate a stranger. He goes, "They're not real." And I'm like, I understand, but they're saying it to me.
Yeah. But what if it is real?
Yeah.
Because that's the thing is, I go. If the internet's real, the way I've been treated a lot of time. How many times have been left unread? Or no response to a thing or something, any of that shit, it gets me. But I go, it's not real.
Ugh.
But then I'm like, I get a lot of good feedback online, and I'm like, maybe it's real. Maybe this part's real.
Yeah, that's the part that brings you back in.
And that's the thing is like, ultimately, I have to realize that I trust that there is somebody that does enjoy the things I do.
Yeah. I'm not even able to convince myself of
I
that.
just wish that they would share their opinion more than the people that don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not like I get a ton of hate mail or hate anything, but like every once in a while when people share their I say it to Dom all the time. I'll say like unprovoked advice is criticism.
Yeah.
So like if somebody just goes, even if it's just somebody going like, man, I wish you guys would do this more. Just like it's at first, it's hard to not take it personally, but I'm also like, that's good feedback.
Yeah.
But the bad feedback is like, in my opinion, this guy sucks. I'm just like, okay, you're right. Hey, maybe I can work on that. Is that you or me? And I think getting past the good and the bad and just going, thanks for watching, I think is probably more of what the right way to do it.
It's tough though.
Yeah, it's impossible in my opinion.
This artist Black has a great line in a song that I always think about where he says, everybody's got an opinion, and I don't want one. Try to tell me a better way to do some shit you ain't never done. That's what it feels like every time somebody's on the internet being like, it would have been better if you did it like this. And I'm like, oh, how many times have you done stand-up comedy, fucking nerd?
You click on their thing and you go, this video sucks. And you're like, you don't even have videos. I can't even, you're not on my level.
You have no perceived value of what this is.
People that heckle at open mics. That's my thing. Anytime I'm at, like, back in Central PA, there'd be somebody that would do something. I remember still to this day, I was at a show. It was one of the first times I ever got to headline, and it was in like Rochester, New York, I believe. And it was just some bar, and it was just awful. It was so awful, and I should not have been headlining. But this guy would just keep doing. I go, you know what? Do you think it's that easy? I do the thing, and I go, here you go, and I go, come on up, pal. And it's basically I'm in charge of the show. Mm-hmm. So, like, there's nobody that I can, like, that's going to end up fucking me over. The promoter's in a different state. Yeah. So I'm just like, fuck it, whatever. Like, go for it, motherfucker. And he goes up there, gets a laugh. Oh no! But instantly loses the crowd. Yeah. Instantly. It shook him. That thing of, like, hey, it is actually that easy. And then he went in, and I was like, and I go, and I'm sitting in the front row with my legs crossed and my arms crossed. He didn't even make it, like, 2 minutes. And I was just like, and I was like, but boy, oh boy, was it shaky ground. Yeah,
being like, oh, man, because he starts crushing. You just have to leave.
Because that's the bar, that's his buddies. And everybody's like, holy shit, Jim's on stage. He's doing it. And it's just like, oh. It's like, yeah, I know. And I think that overall, like, I understand that because I get if somebody is trying to critique something that you're doing and they're not even in that space, a creative outlet, you know what I mean, like space, like where they're like, even if you did pottery on your off time,
you at least have a creative outlet,
right? There's something. But if you don't have anything, and then this is actually very mentally healthy, actually. Holy shit, we actually stumbled on it because once I click on that guy's page and I see they don't have anything that they're doing, or if they do and they have just them playing,
I'm that guy.
Them playing guitar.
I go straight to the thing and I go, this is terrible.
No,
like,
you know what I do? I go, this is the greatest video I've ever seen. Ugh. And I love it. No. And I give hearts and I say, this is amazing. And I show them what I think you should do. Lie to people.
Couldn't be me, dog.
I went the other way. And I said, "You ugly bitch!" And my flag got my comment.
I'm so afraid of getting flagged.
I got
so
flagged
afraid of
getting.
Yeah.
So that's why I go the other way. And I just pour it on just to go like, you went to negative. That's okay. And I say, thanks for watching. And then you get even more negative. And I go, all right, let me just see what you have.
Yeah.
If it's nothing, I go, you're projecting. You don't have a creative outlet, and you think that by tearing me down, it brings you up. Fuck you.
Yeah.
But then if I see you have art, I'm like, well, I'm going to double down. So it's maybe not totally healthy.
My biggest issue is that the stuff that you put on the internet, I'm putting out there for free.
Yeah.
Like
That's the open mic thing. The heckler at an open mic is like,
you didn't pay for this. Yeah. And you can leave. You can just scroll. You just go to the next thing. The time it takes you to watch something, not like it, and comment, I don't like this.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. Yeah. There's so many times where I see something and I go, that's not for me. And I just do this, and you just scroll.
I do not. I'll even do not interested, just so like if it keeps showing up in my feed, I might end up. I don't think I've ever, and this is a positive, or maybe it's just me again wanting this in the world. I don't comment negatively.
Never.
I don't dislike. I don't like as much as I should too, and I don't comment positively as much as I probably should. But
I've commented it one negative thing, and it's stuck with me my entire life.
No way, really?
It was a couple years ago, but it wasn't even negative. It was a genuine critique, and the problem is that my comment got like thousands of likes. It was on like a Bleacher Report page.
Oh, okay.
And this is what happened. They posted an interview that they did with it was with a basketball player that I liked, and the problem is it was like a Zoom thing. There's two interviewers, and then it was whoever the basketball player was, and they kept talking over him. And I was like, to invite a guest on just to talk over them is crazy work.
Yeah.
Like I was like, that's it, wild.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, yeah, we agree. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
crazy. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
I started the rally.
Yeah, yeah,
like that
yeah.
felt shitty, but it was also
Pile
like,
on, yeah.
but it's like, interview better.
Yeah.
There's no way you can, and I know the delay of like a Zoom thing, but like wait for him to give his response.
He's
Jesus.
the guest.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like I want to hear what he has to say because he was telling like a cool story about like Kevin Garnett or something, and I was like, I want to hear this, and they're just like, bah, 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 bah. And I was like, why would you even have him on?
Yeah, and I get that sometimes, and that's what I'm saying. Like some of the feedback you can get in the comments can be constructive. Of like, oh, if you're interrupting the guest a bunch of times, if you're telling terrible stories that go nowhere, if you're not offering any insight, any of that shit. But like, there's also nice ways to say that, I think.
Yeah.
And I would rather that, because if somebody goes, I like this show, I love a qualifier. I love a qualifier in a comment because it adds that.
Because it's coming from a good place.
It adds
once you
it
go,
adds context.
big fan of the show. Didn't really like this, that. You go,
yeah, if you go,
okay.
Didn't really like how you did that, you go, fuck you. But you go, big fan of the show. I just didn't really like that. Like,
100%.
I go, oh, okay.
That
well,
is taken so much better.
dude, I have banned. It's so funny, dude. I'm such a bitch. I'm reflecting on all the times I've been so overly sensitive. of like, we had a podcast that, actually you might have been on at that time back in PA. It was the podcast Buddha Boys.
Yeah.
And we did, it was a buddy of mine, and we were talking about Freddy Krueger. And there was and as somebody who, if anybody out there has a podcast or listens to a podcast that like you may comment or something, to get that super interaction, you either have to be like a day one fan to have that, to where you're contributing every week to, like, whether it's we're reading your emails, you're sending in shit. We trust you. You're a friend of the show. This was one of those. We had a dedicated fan.
Yeah.
that went in on I dug my heels in, because when I explain this to you, Cam, you're going to judge me.
I love that Freddy Krueger's the hill you died on.
Freddy Krueger's accusations.
Oh, dog.
So people go, Freddy Krueger he goes, oh, he's a pedophile.
He's a pedophile.
And I go, no, he wasn't.
He's a pedophile.
I said, if you listen, the creator of this fake character says he is a child murderer. The bastard son of 72 or whatever the fuck it is, like a bunch of people raped. Sorry, to say, his mom, and then he's born as a bastard. He's evil. He's pure evil. He's all these, but he always specifically said he is a child murderer. And my argument was, why isn't that evil enough for you guys? Why do you need him to be a pedophile? And he's like, but he is. And they said in the remake, and then he started going in about how the fans are truly the people who
made him that,
make the character in general. And I said, no, that's factually my autism fought his autism to the point where I said, you're banned from listening to the show. Which
wild.
is impossible to do. I can't do that.
That's crazy.
There's no way I can do that. And I say, you're not allowed to listen or watch until I have a handwritten apology
You're wild.
made out to me and Freddy Krueger for the damning accusations and the fact that he is an admitted child murderer. He waits for you in your dreams to murder you.
You're a crazy person.
Why do you need everything else?
You're a crazy person. I understand dying on a wild hill.
I stopped being
I'm banning from.
I banned him from. I think I still
You can no longer listen to my content.
I still have him blocked on Instagram. There's no way he's still trying to take any of the media I'm doing. I definitely lost whoever that fan was and he was, I think, a friend of the other host too.
Wow.
So like, I think I ended up burning that bridge. So,
Freddy Krueger is a wild stance to die. My entire life, I've pedophile. He is a pedophile.
Everybody can assume it. Everybody can, but like when you actually start saying like, no, he was, and no, he wasn't.
When I watched Freddy versus Jason, in the beginning where he's like with that little girl, I was like, they're showing that he's a pedophile.
He's an absolute creep. And a murderer. Why does it need to be on paper,
The defense
everybody?
you're taking is crazy.
You have no evidence, sir. You have a lot of hearsay and a lot of speculation, of course.
You should defend Diddy.
You want to get banned?
You're like,
I'll take this water back, pal.
you're gonna defend Diddy. Yes, Your Honor. It is
Maybe
a
it's
lot
a
of
Diddy-
baby oil. It's a lot of baby oil, but you can't prove that
Sure.
he used it.
What does he need that for? I don't know. What do you use baby oil for, sir? And like I just turned it. I did have that. I did that impulse when I was watching there was a recent JonBenet documentary on Netflix, and all these analysts and all these people are watching these old clips of JonBenet at the talent thing, and they go, "Look at her. See, her mother and father were terrible. Look at how fucking sexy she is." And it's like, wait a minute. What's your name again? Hold on, let me Google you real quick. There's a lot of red dots here, sir. You know what I mean? Like that. It's the way that they were explaining it. It was like, yes, she looked adult, like she looked like a little woman, but at no point did I ever go like they're sexualizing her. What are you talking about? What are you seeing?
Yeah,
here? Perspective and perception in this case is very damning. So like when you say that, like, what? Oh, he's got so much baby oil. You can easily go like, what do you use baby oil for? I don't know, sir. He's just stocking up. There was
This
maybe
is a lawyer
there's a sale.
tactic, just
Yeah.
flipping the thing where
Pardon me.
it's like,
Whoa.
be reasonable.
Well, okay. Well, can you think of a lot of reasons to have baby oil? Why do you have baby oil in your house? Wow, 2 bottles. That seems like a lot. Yeah, and immediately it just deflected.
Crazy.
No, but Freddy Krueger,
I think the
absolutely.
Freddy Krueger pedophile thing is because we had to nerf him, dude. He's unbeatable. I've always said he is the most terrifying villain ever because you cannot avoid him.
Yeah.
You can avoid Michael Myers. You can avoid Jason. You
Yeah.
can avoid every other villain. You have to go to sleep.
Yeah, you
At some
have to
point-
go to sleep. And the more you don't go to sleep, the more
The worse that because you can start hallucinating.
hallucinate. And when you're hallucinating, you're essentially daydreaming. And what's daydreaming except for being susceptible to Freddy Krueger during the day?
Yeah, he's
He's a very evil guy,
the best. Like
but not a convicted murderer.
not convicted.
Not-
Back
not
then, they
convicted.
didn't have too many trials.
And that was actually, I think, my argument too, of like, you can't say, like, the studio doesn't want to go like, yeah, we're gonna put a big pedophile on a poster, but we can imply the fuck out of it.
But that's also like It.
Yeah,
Like Stephen King's It, they were talking about the kids were like diddled like a lot, and then when they show the movie, they're like, let's kind of cut that part. out.
Can
Let's
we just
cut
not
that
have
out.
that part? It's just- well, again, imply like, why else? Like, what is the good intention that a circus clown could have for dragging children into the sewer? You know what I'm saying? And if we go like murdering, good enough. You know
A
what
lot
I
of
mean?
baby oil in that sewer. a lot of baby oil down there.
Yeah, if they're down in the pits, so to speak, then yeah, that's bad enough. And if he's murdering children in their dreams, no matter their age,
It's funny to
Still
think
bad.
that like he's writing the character. He's like this guy's got claws for fingers. They're like, ooh, that's scary. He gets you in your dreams.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's bad.
and a fedora,
And he murders children. They're like, ooh, that's crazy. And
and
he's a pedo. Oh,
wait.
He's already pretty scary.
yeah, we save that for the next guy. We'll just make a whole guy that's just that.
It's just
Yeah.
some dude named Greg.
Yeah, it turns out we couldn't make the clown a pedophile, so we had to turn him into a spider. At the end, spoiler alert.
It's crazy. It's like, what could you add to another villain to make them scarier? It's like Jason Voorhees. He's invincible. He's big. He's massive. He's got a big machete. There you go. Laser vision. Like you always have to add another thing.
Oh, what if he has ice breath? What do you think? Yeah, no, I don't think he needs that really. He's already able to catch up to them walking.
Yeah.
We can just keep that. That's pretty scary. Leatherface is another one where you're just like, he's wearing human skin. Okay.
Yeah. Chainsaw.
Chainsaw. Yeah, got it. Okay. Also, he's psycho. He's just like, he's just crazy.
Supposed
in
to give him
general.
a crazy voice.
Yeah, you're like, all right. What if he could fly? No, we don't want that.
My second would be Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah, that's.
where, like,
I was just thinking.
Where
Jeepers
like
Creepers, yeah.
Jeepers being able to like the body part he eats of you, he then retains. Is like that is a terrifying creature because it's basically immortal.
Yeah.
It even when it stops feeding, it just comes back with 27 years later, or whatever, however long it is.
You're like, Why do you have so many dicks on you?
He's just like, you can keep cutting it off, baby.
Shut up. Give me your heart. Yeah, you need to pump more blood, don't you there, buddy?
I'm going to eat those lips so you can't tell anybody.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of vaginas on there, buddy. I see a lot of dicks. What do you, I just happened to kill a Catholic school bus. Just shut up, okay? I didn't know that. I don't think I ever watched a Jeepers or a Creepers, really.
Really?
Yeah, is that's the one I've seen.
Justin Long. It's got Justin Long.
It's on the bus, right? They get stuck on a bus for one of them. Yeah,
it's the second one. The first one, it's like it starts off as like this road rage thing, and then Justin Long and his sister, they're like heading back home to like see their mom or whatever, and then the road rage thing happens, and they're driving down the road, and then they see the truck that pulled them over, that was cutting them off.
Okay.
And then they're like,
That's actually pretty scary. So that's very rooted in reality so far.
Yes.
That's really scary. Okay,
yeah,
sorry, I apologize.
No, you're good. And then so like they see the truck and they're like, fuck this guy. And then they're like, oh, there's something kind of creepy about it. Let's go check this out. And then they like go into the basement. And they're like, oh no, it's like covered in just bodies. Yeah, and so they're like, we got to get out of here.
So is he not supernatural in the first one, or he is supernatural, but he's just like kind of masking as a truck?
Yeah,
I'll probably watch it now. Actually, that sounds pretty good.
Oh, it's really good. The first two are really good.
The second one seems kind of weird to me, where he had like this weird like boomerang thing that he kept like throwing, like he was like picking people off the bus.
Yeah, so like that's like a man-made like shifted like a batarang.
Yeah.
And he like throws it, hits the bus. And it's basically to just like strand them. Like now they're stranded in the middle of like this field.
I always thought of him as more of like a cryptid type like guy.
It's like a Nosferatu type, like where it's just like it's a ghoul.
He can only come out at night and he like feeds on people. Yada yada yada.
He can get you in the day.
God damn it.
Yeah, he can get you in the day, get you at night, but like he masks as a person to like hide. Skinwalker type, and then once like you kind of see what he is, then he's just like, oh, okay, like he's like, oh, all right,
I'm just gonna kill you.
I don't have to like really hide.
Give me that
anymore.
dick.
Yeah.
Stop. Did he? So okay, this actually brings me to a question that I love to ask on the show in general. Superstitions. I don't know if we ever. I know we've probably talked about it. I can't. We've only podcasted surprisingly in all of our years of friendship, like a handful of times maybe. So. I can't remember your thoughts on. Oh, we did talk a bit about ghosts. Do you have a thought or any feelings on ghosts, cryptids, or in general that maybe has changed over the years? Or
I still believe
any personal opinions?
So
personal experience.
I'll see things that I think are creepy or like ghost related, and then my brain will immediately go nope, and then I'll just. I ignore
deny
it.
Yeah.
I ignore it so much because I believe in it. Okay. So I can't dive too deep into this because if I dive too deep into it, I'm just going to go crazy.
Do you have any superstitions like day to day, whether it be performing or just regular, like superstitions even being, and I mean this with all due respect,
I have like little
praying,
rituals and stuff before. I don't really pray, but I do. I had a friend pass away, and I had this bracelet that I had always wore, but the bracelet started to like break down. It was about to break, but every time I'd go to do a set, I would kiss it and be like, and like give a shout out, whatever. And then so now I've lost like so many people that like before I go up, I kind of kiss my wrist for those people, and
like,
I
it's like an
homage, like I guess like a thankful thing of like you feel like people watching over you kind of thing of like every time I go on stage, and I know it's not like I'm not going to war, but it's one of those things where like I like to think that they watch me do stand up.
Yeah, and my dad died when I was really, really, really young, so I would like to believe that he is, if there is any kind of afterlife or whatever it may be. Do you have like a thought of like something like that, like where they would be able to see, or like what would your vision of an afterlife be like?
I never really put too much thought behind it of like what the next step looks like, or like people looking over you or this and that. Like growing up, all the people that I heard talk about like, oh, this person's watching over me, or I have guardian angels, like they were always so corny to me. Like it was always the worst people who said it. So I was like, come, okay, there's people watching over you, cool, believe whatever you believe, tight, whatever.
Yeah.
And now within the last couple of years, I've had things happen where I go, I should have died. Where I should have died, or something should have been worse, and then it just wasn't.
Yeah.
And I look at that and I go, it's because of this. And so I get where people come from when they go, no, somebody's watching over me because this should not have ended up.
You
decently.
experience enough coincidences to where you go, that wasn't a coincidence.
Yeah.
That was a situation where like something for some reason kept me. Like I do that. I definitely trust my gut in a lot of scenarios. I feel like the gut is kind of the. I saw a thing recently that was somebody talking to AI, and they were having a conversation of basically like the existence in general of like as AI becomes more aware, it's not as much a takeover as it is the next step of like. Well, it's the next step of like kind of it's evolution. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of a thing of like. This isn't going to be a thing. And whenever things shift to another thing, grow, essentially, there's a lot of turmoil.
We have a lot of movie things that show this, though. Like the movie thing of like, even what's the Limitless?
Yeah.
Right? So Limitless pill, that's next step in this of like us being our peak performance version.
Yeah.
So like if AI is helping us learn better or become better, like you essentially think that at a certain point we can use it to the way that people want to chip themselves.
Yeah.
Or that people.
Well, that's what it was saying.
Like Black Mirror-esque, where it's like we can become better, but we're essentially becoming more robotic because we've described robots and computers and things as perfection. They're completing a task to perfection.
Yeah.
As opposed to like when it was like the 1940s, right, where everybody's riding horses and doing all this stuff. You go, we're just not aging out, but we're transitioning out of human into more AI.
And I think that's what the basically the idea of the clip is AI is not showing us this is like even the next step of evolution, but truly what AI is indeed consciousness. So we might have it could be an answer to where do we go when we die. It could be an answer to what is a soul. It could be an answer of like any of that stuff of basically
or how to extend
what it's
life.
always been. Like what it not where it is. It's because I have a weird theory. I talk about it a lot on the podcast of what hauntings are. Hauntings are basically dreams where when you fall asleep, you are actually subconsciously able to travel to different dimensions. You go to an alternate dimension that's similar. It looks familiar, but it doesn't feel familiar.
It's a Rick and Morty shit.
Essentially, yeah. You get into another version of that. And when you're in that world, you can't function properly because you're not fully in that universe. Right. But they can see you. They can go like, what the fuck? And they're reacting to you or not.
It's like some Insidious shit.
Yeah, you're
like
traveling.
The other side, the upside down.
Yeah. I mean, really. And essentially that could be where, so either we could have these loved ones that we've over the years lost all waiting for us in the simulation or the AI.
It's very interesting to think that like instead of because the theory is that the robots are going to take over.
Right.
So instead of them taking over, I think we just transition into becoming more robotic.
Yeah.
Like we become more AI. It's almost like AI becomes this thing, and then they're like, "Come on, join us."
Yeah.
And I think we slowly. That's kind of what we've been doing. The crazy thing is that like our generation's got to see pay phones to car cell phones, and then car cell phones to home phones, and then like cell phones and all these things. And so now we got laptops, we got the iPhone can do everything.
Yeah.
Now we're doing the sunglass thing.
Yeah.
Like,
and even like some implants too.
We're becoming more technology.
Yeah.
So I don't see why there's not a scenario when AI gets so good that we just go, well, I want to be the best version of myself, and then you just kind of import that.
It almost feels like, and there's a lot of theories that people have about like alien life manipulating DNA of life on the planet that could create humans. It could be there's
aliens for sure.
Yes, absolutely, and that's what I'm saying is how do you get these advances so quickly over time? Not long after Roswell, like from 1947 to now,
people don't ask enough questions, bro.
Right? Yeah, and people just assume that people are in charge, that there's somebody monitoring this.
I've never thought that. The second that I was a kid, I'll never forget this. I was a kid, and I was standing in front of the microwave, and I was watching it heat up food, and I genuinely was like, "How?
Yeah."
How do these? And they're like, "Oh, the microwaves of like the waves."
And you're like, "Yeah, but where?"
Whose idea was like we're gonna make this little box.
Yeah.
It's gonna put waves that are gonna heat this popcorn up, and it's gonna do
and nothing else around it. Like I'm not getting burned right now. I'm right
No,
here.
it's
As far
all
as we can
within this
tell.
little box, and you go,
I'm nose to nose with this thing, and
Yeah.
I'm just going, how are they doing that?
yep.
Yeah.
And everybody just kind of goes, oh, it's science. Because nobody wants to feel stupid. Nobody wants to feel dumb, and so they don't ask questions.
Yeah.
They just go, oh, no, I know how it works. Oh. But you go,
Okay.
this was given to us from there's no way. I can't. Computer chip.
Yeah.
The design of a computer chip from its beginning process of like, the little green piece,
Uh-huh.
and then you put all those
The
little
little
metal
bumps, and the little squigglies
and
and the
then
little
all
lines.
of a sudden you connect this guy to this guy, and now all of a sudden you got it's
It can do anything
come
you
on,
need.
dog.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
no chance. And then like a CD, the laser disc of like,
Yeah.
you put the little light on it. A record, you put it on here, and when you spin it on the needle in this little slot, now it plays music.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
I still don't understand that. There is like I've seen people recording like a record cylinder, like how that's actually done, and like I still don't completely understand how capturing that sound and like turning this thing and it's etching. How do you
Etch
make a
sound
physical?
into
Yeah,
the thing. Yep.
yeah, exactly. But somebody figured that out.
But what I think it is I think that we get alien technology that's given to one person, and it's that one person's job to distribute it amongst people. Because once
Yeah.
you learn how to do something, you can just do it. You can recreate it, right? So
Yeah.
once somebody teaches you how to make a record, now you do that process. But
Yeah.
you go, how does it work? And you go, I don't know. He taught me.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah,
told me
yeah.
that it's just, but like there's no real explanation. And of course, we can, if you Google how does a microwave work, now we have all the information on how it works. But like, that's only because we can backdate it.
And that's what it feels like. Is it doesn't feel necessarily like computers are taking over. It feels like, if anything, either they have always been in charge and now they're actually saying, okay, I think they're ready to start learning about the next stages of everything.
Yeah.
Or they're actually, instead of just being a massive hostile takeover, they're actually showing how we can implement each other.
They had to
and it's
slowly integrate it.
It's a smooth transition, as opposed, and that was the other thing, was the reason there's so much chaos is because the people or the things that were in control before are realizing now they are losing or have lost control. So what they're doing is all of the nations are going to war, because this is the last time. That's how people were able to control people and manipulate societies and worlds.
Yeah.
And you see, after enough useless wars that were not justified, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, all these other ones moving forward, like now they're just like, whoa, what do we do? Oh, we'll make another record. Like, nope, you can't just keep going back to the well on this.
Right.
You have to adapt, adjust, and move forward.
Yeah.
And that consciousness idea was a lot more, even if that's how they take over, is just by putting it that way and just going like, it's okay, little buddy, come with me. I'll go like, that's not as hostile as, I don't think they're going to enslave us.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be okay. I think they just want our brains.
The tough part is that like they can't be honest with us, and I
Yes.
think that's the part
That's the scary part.
that's the part that hurts.
Yeah.
Because you can be honest with me, I don't give a shit. Like, because if
I'm
they
not going to
tell me,
overthrow anything.
if they tell me that they killed JFK because they're like he was pushing back against the banks and he wasn't going to play ball with us, he had to go. Do I agree? No, you shouldn't have done that. But I also go, I'm not in politics. I don't know what it's like to have to hoard the masses when the masses are fucking stupid.
Right.
People are stupid.
Yeah. People
I
are
realize-
reactionary. People are.
This is what's so tough too, is that they are literally killing us with the food.
Yeah.
Our food is killing us.
Yeah.
I went to the grocery store the other day, and when I go to the checkout line, I'm seeing Doritos, Cheetos, Snickers, Twix, like all the candy, all the snacks right in the front, right when you're going to check out. And we all are aware that this food is unhealthy.
Yep.
It's not good. It's not good for our bodies. It's not good for our brains. There's chemicals in there, in the seed oils
There's
and
no
all this stuff.
food. There's no food. It's not food.
Actual like
Things.
bad cancer products,
Yeah.
right? And it's
Like
right by the
and there's a
front.
warning that says there's products in here that are known to cause cancer, but like only in California.
Yeah.
People only it's only killing people in California. I mean, here in like Texas, you're fine.
Yeah. And so, even knowing all this,
Yeah.
I still bought a Snickers.
Yep.
And I was so mad because I was like, I'm craving this, but I'm craving it because it is addictive.
Yeah.
And that's their game.
Mm-hmm.
Their game is to make it addictive so that you want it, but you are knowingly killing yourself. and there's nothing we can do about it.
It's like it's billed as treat yourself. Like it's
it's a prize. It's a treat.
Yeah,
You've earned it.
In moderation, this isn't the worst for you. And even I went to a doctor recently that I was telling him like I take what vitamins I take like every day. I take this, allergy thing. I take a thing. I take fish oil. All this shit. And I go, and I don't really eat good at all. And I told him like I'm like every day is bad. Like it's not good, but it's not. It may not be like the fast food, the this or that, a ton of sweets and all this other stuff. But it's not. I take those vitamins because I know I don't eat. Yeah, I'm compensating. And at the end of he was just like, yeah, I think everything should be fine. And I'm just like,
no.
And I go, no, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I go, like if I leave the house, usually I'm going to probably get fast food at some point or eat something terrible or meat or like red meat. You're not supposed to eat red meat all the time. Somebody said if every meal is delicious, you're doing something wrong.
Wow.
Not every meal should be delicious.
Brilliant.
And I'm like, well, I mean, you can't make like salad good. And they're like,
I'm fully convinced that Carly's the only reason I'm going to live a little longer.
Same with Dom. Yeah. Yeah.
She makes sure she talks me out of food all the time where I go, can I have this? And I genuinely, and I ask her childishly, can I have this? Because I need somebody to tell me, no, that's going to kill me.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I've grown up so much with just I'm going to eat Burger King.
Anything you want. Yeah.
I'm just going to eat it and I'm going to be fine. And
there's no issue necessarily, either whether it be right there or even after.
It's a time issue.
Yeah, it's after a while.
It's on the back end. You got to pay it back. It's like when it really feels like a snow day in school or like in Florida we'd have a lot of hurricane days.
Yeah, or riot days.
Yeah.
Some of my schools were closed for riots.
Yeah, they're like, all right, you got the next 2 days off. And we're like, hell yeah. And they're like, you got to make it up at the end of the year.
In summer, yeah.
So it's like when you're supposed to get out June 12th, now you're getting out June 16th because you're like, bro, I thought we were done with this. And you're like, no, those 4 days you took off, you always got to pay the back end. If I eat the Burger King, I'm like, oh, I don't feel great right now, but I'm all right. And then I'm going to be 65 and being like, oh, I shouldn't have ate the Big Mac.
Dude, have you seen the I've got to bring it the artist rendition or artist rendering of what it would be like for 6 hours of sleep every night. Hold on. Let me just do this. Hopefully that'll do it. There's somebody made basically a computer animation or like a damn it. Yeah, this is what, hold on, let me bring it up on the big screen here. This is apparently what you would look like. Where is it? There we go. Bring it up here. This is what you would look like if you only get 6 hours of sleep a night. It's crazy. Horrifying images show how you might look if you only get 6 hours of sleep a night. The thing I say the most a lot of time, or let me just say on average, and I'll tell my doctor this, I'll say in small talk with people, anytime I'm always saying like as long as I get 6 hours, I'm good. As long as I get 6 hours of sleep, I'm fine.
You know why I know that that's not true?
Why?
Because Matt is an insomniac and gets maybe 2 hours of sleep a day. He literally can't sleep, and he's a handsome man. But this is crazy. I want to know where they get this idea of why does this make 6 hours?
Yeah. Sleep deprived. It's
why does sleep give this lady scoliosis?
Yeah. Why is she balding?
Also, why does she stand like that?
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand the actual how that would be necessarily.
I don't know how they get to that. But that is a very ugly person. It looks like if Dubby was a human.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. That's a really good point. Oh man,
that's tough.
It's making it glitch and shit.
Because you know what? They had to make this. They had to make this 6 hour person look terrible because if they're like, this is what you would look if you had 6 hours of sleep at night, and you're like, just the youngest, happiest person.
Oh, yeah, this feels great.
That's how the boss would get you to work more.
Yeah, I think this is almost it doesn't know. I don't know a lot of the science behind that rendering or anything like that, but I can include the link and shit like that. But it's I saw it on Instagram originally, and it was just like you're hunched over like this, you're losing weight, you got a pot belly, you got all this shit, and like you said, that could be the worst case scenario for it. But I do understand some of the things. Like I get it. You know what I mean?
You need rest for sure. You got your body has to rebuild itself.
Well,
you got to recharge.
That's why I feel like anytime I think about in general, like self-care, taking care of myself, I don't do it nearly enough. I'll drink a ton of coffee, get super jittery, and just because I go like, oh shit, I forgot to eat.
Yeah.
Or something like that, where I'm sure there's a lot of shit that I should probably address as far as maybe getting medications or some kind of.
It sucks how much more productive I am before I eat.
Yes.
And that's because the things I'm eating don't energize me. But
right.
If I wake up and I just start my day and I don't eat, I'm knocking out 15 tasks.
Yeah.
But the second that I sit down and I have a meal, bruh.
Right.
And long day.
And that's why, because we're definitely not eating what we should be eating, but we're also getting to the point where you eat excessively, or you.
I overstuff for sure.
Yeah. What would you say your go-to? So this is another question that we have on the podcast that I like to do, and it's been adjusted for Austin. I don't know have you been to Cabo Bob's?
I love Cabo Bob's.
Would you eat
smoky cheddar burrito?
Oh yeah.
With I do. I just started doing the chicken and the steak. Right, you go white rice, queso, cheese, the spicy crema, the mango pico, do the triple X hot. Oh, yeah. Man, it's so good.
I gotta tell you, my question was for the longest time was, would you eat your go-to Chipotle order without meat? But would you eat? It's been shifted since, because the first two people I asked that question, they were like, "Oh, have you ever been to Cabo Bob's?" I was like, then I went to Cabo Bob's, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, what's your go-to? If that's your go-to Cabo Bob's order, would you eat that without meat?"
Could, but I wouldn't.
Right?
No, I need meat. I'm a protein-driven person. It's hard for me to eat any meal without a protein. I can't justify it.
I think that's something with our generation or similar generations in general, is that you have
feels
meat,
like a waste of a meal if I don't have protein.
side, like a vegetable or something like that, whether it be even canned vegetables, anything like that. You have sides and then the main thing. And how I remember eating when I was younger too would be like, oh, if you don't like the broccoli or whatever, if you don't like whatever else is on your plate, I always liked broccoli growing up, but if you don't like whatever you don't like on your plate, eat that first and save your favorite things for last.
I saved the last thing, the worst thing for last.
Yeah.
I always, it's funny, when Carly and I started dating, she would notice that I would eat my favorite thing first, and then I would dabble in between bites. Say a burger. I'd eat the burger, I'd eat a little bit of mashed potatoes, eat the burger, eat a little bit of mashed potatoes, but I would leave the greens, until the very end. She was like, "You didn't eat your greens." I was like, that's
I'm eating
last.
Them. Yeah.
And
that's
then,
work.
And then, and then I'd get all my other stuff done, and I'd get to the greens, and I'd smash the greens. And then she'd go, "Why do you do that?" And I go, "Because this isn't for good taste, and I'm not going to ruin the good thing."
Oh, okay. So you didn't want to bring down the good things value by adding it to see, because that's the thing is I would try that a lot of times is I would mask, or I would go this all on one bite, and then just take it all and just go okay, well, I got some good stuff in there, but I also I'm chipping away at that shit.
Kind of treated it like school.
Yeah.
It's like first 3 weeks of this semester, 3/4 of this semester, I'm gonna fuck off, and then the fourth quarter of this semester, I'm gonna
really
make
gonna
up
try.
all my I'm gonna get it all done in this last week when I had 3 months to do it.
That's the homework portion of dinner.
Yep, that is exactly what it is. This is the part where I have to do it to survive, but I had fun earlier. I had all this other stuff.
Do you think you approach a life like that too? Do you ever?
I'm a fourth quarter person.
Yeah.
I thrive under waiting till the last minute. There's stress that comes with it that sucks.
For sure.
But I'm very nonchalant, lackadaisical until the moment where it's you have to go now. You have to turn up.
That's what I think. I started to lean into those improvised comedy mics and shit like that. The we pull a thing out of the bucket and you just tell you just either tell jokes compared to that. It's because anytime I get ready for something, if I prepare, if I have a way I really want to tell a joke, if I don't say it the way I exactly wanted to say it, I get pissed off.
Wow.
But if I end up saying something funny, even if it's that joke and it's just off the top of my head or something, if I don't have to plan it, if I just go up there with, so that's when it kind of shifted into when I would do my stand-up sets. I would just go up with the joke I wanted to start with. I already planned. I know what I want to start with, and then I'll just go from there. I know my jokes, because if I actually try to have this, it may stay in that structure and it may stay the same way I say it. But like if me planning, I feel like is against. I am definitely maybe not even a last quarter comic, more of a buzzer beat, like shit. Cram, like, oh my god, like I'm on my way to class, like reading what I need, or like kind of skimming through what I needed to do. I always joke, I brag about this, and it's probably a bad thing to brag about, but I got I think a C- on a book report of a book I did not even read.
Damn.
I only read the back synopsis and
the teacher knew that. They were just like, all right.
But like, I think the amount of effort that I was able to like really expand and go like not make her look so bad. She might have been like, you know what? It's a C. Yeah, you're right on par. Like you're passing, but try harder. Like read the book next time. You know, whatever note you want to put on there. I think I approach that with a lot of things except for dinner. I probably should be able to enjoy, because I feel like if you're able to take a little bit of each thing in each bite, it's more living in the moment, as opposed to like parsing it out to say this is fun, this is the shitty part, and this is work.
Yeah, you should be able to enjoy all of it.
Try to mix it all together.
It's also, we have to convince ourselves that the healthy thing is good.
Yeah.
Like being like, broccoli is good. I know you like broccoli. I don't mind broccoli either, but like, it's never going to be as good as the burger. It's never going to be as good as the main thing. Like, that's my argument with salads, too, is people are like, they put the dressing on, they put all this stuff on. None of that matters to me, because I'm not eating this for the taste.
Yeah.
I'm eating this because it's productive. I'm eating this because it's, you know what I mean?
It's getting things moving.
Yeah. That's always bothered me. And it's been weird to other people. People are like, you don't put dressing on this and that. And I go, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm not eating this because it's like, the salad's delicious.
Yeah.
I've never once.
You're not trying to fool anybody.
At all. I'm eating the salad because it serves a purpose.
Yeah.
This is because my insides crave nutrition. I'm not eating this because I want it to taste good. If I want something that tastes good, I'm going to eat a donut. Like, it just has never made sense to me, the idea of like.
Preaching to the choir here, brother.
I just don't get the thing that people are like, this salad's delicious. You're a liar. Or your taste buds are fucked.
I will
because
say.
There's no way this is delicious.
I will say there are some salads that I've had that I like the flavor, but it's because of the combination of it's not like I'm not sitting there going like, it is the dressing. It's like like we had. We didn't have croutons last night. We had salads last night. But this is the salad we had. Was a chicken Caesar salad with arugula, but the chicken was blackened, fried. Not like deep fried, but fried in a pan with oil. Then also the croutons that we didn't have. Dawn made her own Caesar dressing from scratch with mayonnaise and all this stuff at home and stuff. And then we didn't have croutons, so what we did was we cooked some garlic bread. And we cut that up.
Damn.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
It was really good. But that's the thing is, if every meal you're eating is delicious, none of that is good for you necessarily.
I'd look at it like this, where it's like, can you have a good salad? Yes, you can have a good protein. You can have some chicken in there. It could be seasoned well. It could be good. Doug Stanhope is a good comedian. He's a very, very good comedian.
Yeah.
He will not ever break into the Chappelles, the Burrs, the this, the that. Like, he's very good. You can have a very good salad. It will never be shrimp Alfredo. It will never be a taco.
Yeah.
Like, it's just.
It's never going to be a fucking breakfast burrito.
It's just not. Even your best Caesar salad.
Yeah.
Cannot fuck with shrimp Alfredo.
I there's no argument, because that's when you realize I'm eating better because I'm eating at home. Like, no, you're just using pounds of butter. You're using pounds, but it's delicious.
It'd be funny to take an unobjective, like just somebody who has no dog in the fight. You sit them down. Like, you just take some random foreign kid, you sit him down, you give him a salad.
Yeah.
With the best salad you can make.
Yeah.
And then you give him a burger, and then you go, hey, pick which one did you enjoy more?
Both
more.
of these, yeah.
He's gonna go, More of the burger.
Yeah, this one.
Give me more of that.
Yeah, can you make it rare? Yeah, you can't make this rare. This is all rare. Yeah, I think when you put stuff, the more stuff you put on a salad, the more you're just making it not salad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when it gets better.
Yeah, you got to add a protein. You got to add some spice. You got to add some zhuzh on it. And you're masking the green.
Masking the green I think is a great way to put that. I have one more. Hold on. I know I always have these like nice little jump off questions that I like to do. In closing, we will ask you just one more.
Hell yeah.
But I really do appreciate you coming in here today.
Dude, thank you for having me.
I know
this
we
was
had
so
to,
fun.
Yeah, I really those things that like I've really enjoyed the going back to having kind of the traditional kind of regular just conversation podcast, more interview kind of style.
I can do this all day.
I can also get
talking.
get to know friends more than I like already have, like especially with the with
Freddy Krueger?
superstitions. Yeah, hey, I gotta tell you, I'm never ever gonna change on that. I'm sorry.
I just want you to know that you not changing on it is you absolutely defending a pedophile.
Yeah, probably. But not. There's no proof.
I can't wait for it to come out that Freddy Krueger had baby oil.
All right. So this one I think this one's a good way to end this one. What is one thing that you knew absolutely was true when you were younger that you've learned since that's a lie? That
I've learned since was a lie?
Yeah.
Woof.
I mean, you absolutely knew. Like, you absolutely knew that everybody that there was somebody in charge, essentially. You know what I mean? Like you believe that. One of the things I learned recently was when I was younger, I used to always watch. I remember watching the movie Vegas Vacation when I was younger, and it was National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation with Chevy Chase, all the Randy Quaid's in it, like all the people that I kind of grew up watching when my generation's National Lampoon's movie. And it was based in Las Vegas. They go, one of the shows they see is Siegfried and Roy. And I remember thinking, I was huge, still love animals. I'm a huge animal lover. Mm-hmm. I used to always think, like, that's incredible that they're able to, like, train those tigers to just be part of this crazy, incredible illusionist act, and just be near these people. And, like, how did they make it so safe?
Right.
You find out later on, it just wasn't.
Yeah.
It just wasn't safe. They just didn't have any incidents. I did an episode about Siegfried and Roy and the history. There were incidents. They just weren't reported on. There were like what kind of crazy magic did they use for almost 50 years? 33, I think, in Las Vegas at the Mirage.
Oh.
What did they do for 33 years? Nothing. They just didn't have an incident up until the night that they did.
Yeah. Like publicly.
I knew for a fact, SeaWorld, they're training them. They like being here. They're doing all that stuff. I learned during all these animal attack investigations that I did that nobody was in charge. Mm-hmm. They just didn't have an incident until they did.
Yeah.
And enough people witnessed it that they couldn't hide it. So that's something that I like. Nobody's in control. There is no safety thing. All of my worst fears are just absolutely, because I'm just thinking, man, it's so dangerous. The tiger's right there.
Yeah, I feel bad. The way you asked the question was very like SAT format, and I was trying to think, and it's some, I don't know why, but it's hard for me to think back to being a kid sometimes.
Okay.
But in that same vein, I always wondered, like, how do people not die at Disney?
Yeah.
They do.
They do.
And they just pay to cover it up.
Perfect example.
And nobody.
Florida kids growing up in near, an hour away from Disney World, our whole life, you're just like, wow, it's the happiest place on earth, and there's never an issue.
But if anybody goes missing or anybody gets injured, you just get paid off.
Just go.
Hey, just go over here.
Yeah. Don't they have a cooler in Florida? They have an actual place that they like will hold bodies until they come to pick them up. Like,
I think I've heard about that, but
I'll look that up real quick.
Sounds pretty wild. Of just like they wait until all the other residents leave the park.
Yeah.
And they're just like, all right, we got to scoop out 3 more.
Disney Morgue. Welcome to the Disney Morgue.
That's going to be the name of my next album.
Disney Morgue.
Disney Morgue.
That was the thing is for the longest time I was trying to figure out like you try to think of what is it like album titles, album cover. I already know the album cover that I would like. It's this old picture of my family at the swimming pool, and they're all smiling, and I'm just standing over here, and I'm like this. I'm like, yeah, that was it.
That's great.
That's childhood. And then the name and I was like, now I actually have to try to make an album now because I was like, I thought of the name My Sincerest Form of Fattery.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, it's too perfect. But is there a Disney morgue? How about that? So AI is searching. Yes, the Walt Disney Studios had what they called a morgue, which was actually a storage facility for animation art and research materials, not a place for bodies. So apparently,
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but I think there's also essentially kind of like how there's like a jail in a Philly or stadium. It's the same idea. There's something that they have there or a code that they a lot of times.
It is funny that they had to build the jail in the Philly stadium. Yeah. That is so funny.
It's
just like in construction, they're just like, come on, somebody's gonna get arrested at this game.
What can we put over there? Maybe a jail cell.
We're gonna have to house all these fucking wild people.
They have a courtroom in a Philly jail. That's an actual a real life thing. They have a little mini court, like actual area I think the Eagles Stadium.
I love that.
Yeah,
because then at the game there has to be a judge, just like waiting.
They need it streamlined enough to where like he's just like watching it on. He's like watching the game and he's just like, oh shit. So what you do? Yeah. Oh, you were the motherfucker that just did that. Like,
yeah.
Hey, what if he's a fan? But no, the same idea where I'm watching. I went to Disney World I think once or twice as a kid, not too many times even for living so close.
Yeah, me neither.
But like I remember thinking that same idea of how it's sold to you. You never hear of an attack or a thing. Like you go to Busch Gardens, you hear tell of like somebody getting their head kicked off or all this other shit. But
that was the other
Disney World was always a clean place. And then you see that video of those families fist fighting in Disney World. Remember that a couple years ago? It was like a couple of black families, I believe, that were feuding at the Disney World, and they were it was all captured on tape. And then there's even a cast member trying to break them up.
Imagine you get broken up by what is what's the dog?
Goofy. Or Pluto. Oh, yeah. Maybe they don't have it. Disney or no, not fighting game. Come on.
Oh man.
Come on with this. See, they're even trying to cover it up.
Yep.
Disney fight caught on tape. But yeah, it was like there was like a weird thing. Oh, come on now. There we go. Is this it? Yeah, I think. No. This is the one I was thinking of. Damn.
Oh,
there's multiple.
That looked like
shit.
the 90s.
Hold on. There's. Bring this up.
Oh, now they're interviewing people.
Come on. Yeah.
How did you feel when you saw this person kick this other person?
Fight between two families caught on tape. So this, I don't know if this is the same one that I was thinking of, but like if they're talking about the same one, I think this is the footage I was thinking of.
I love that there should be millions of fights. Okay, that was a weak ass punch.
Yeah. And I think this also is Disney World. I was gonna say Disney World, Disneyland.
Getting into a family fight while everybody has matching outfits is so funny.
Thing 1, thing 2, thing 3. No, that's Universal.
But just like red shorts and white tees, it's like who's on your team.
So yeah, this is.
She came in for more.
Yeah. So this is Stop it. I love that, but I also think it's funny that like, not only do they have the matching uniform like that's a team fight. But also, like, they're like squaring up on every other person like it's a fucking hockey brawl. Like it's like a line brawl.
You fight that person, I gotta fight this person.
All right, well, you got a goalie? Okay, well, go fight that goalie. Like, what are you doing? I think this is it's not only proved it to be not the happiest place on earth, but also it's like I didn't realize when I looked up brawl at Disney, I can't even tell you. I think this is actually the original one I was referring to.
There should be thousands of these, though, to be honest. I can't believe that more people don't fight at amusement parks. Okay, but that's a dude punching a big old lady.
This is not okay. Oh, yeah, this is the one I was thinking about because that guy essentially kind of goes through and just clears out their whole family.
Just one by one.
Like, he's like, and like, I think there's even a lady on a wheelchair.
Whoa, it's a lot of dudes fighting ladies.
Look at that.
in
Yeah,
here.
like see the lady comes in with her off-road vehicle. Yeah,
wow,
breaking it up, putting her own life at risk.
Oh, it's a gay dude. Okay, well, it helps. That helps.
Yes.
Still not right,
Right, and also
but it's a little closer.
it's just a beatdown. Like this is the only time. Oh, that's telling. He's the only guy in jail. I think I also think it's funny just the fact that like
I think it's funny that the judge has to go at Disney.
right.
At Disney.
This is the one time. So like I'm not a guy that I'm not a guy that jumps to the what if my kids or what am I gonna tell my or anything like that. In this case, I gotta go like, brother, this is what about the kid? This is the kid's place. This is the kids thing. This is the place where there's beer here for people that can handle it.
Yeah.
And that need it to
To
spend time with their
tolerate-
family.
Yeah.
If you ruin that for us and you get beer taken away,
Oh wow.
We're
I didn't even
gonna-
think about that.
because there's plenty of Disney adults, there's people that fucking just love going to Disney and
Which is
no
its
judgment.
its own separate
Fine.
thing.
Do that. But there's also plenty of times where I'm going like, there's people that are here because they have to, because their wife said,
We have to take the kids.
this,
to,
this is the perfect age group. Killings too.
The dude's
Four-
like,
four- and
dude's
he's
like, I wanted to go to Vegas.
yeah, literally. He's like, this was our Vegas trip. This was our Vegas trip money. Like,
Yeah.
and something like this happens. It's understandable. I think, like we both said, but it's also like one of those things where, when you see it in practice, you're like, come on, man,
Come on.
go save it for Gasparilla. Like save it for
Yeah.
something.
St. Patrick's Day's coming.
Mardi Gras, like whatever. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, one of the brawling days.
Yeah.
Take it for one of those days.
That's why
But-
people don't leave their house on New Year's or go to Halloween parties. Is because that's where that happens.
Yeah.
at.
Guava. What was
Guavaween?
Guavaween. Yeah.
Guavaween was like, bring a box cutter. bring a box cutter.
Dude, I remember a thought. This is the best way to end this, but I remember the theory that, or the threat, I would say, maybe a threat of a person walking around
At the fair?
Ybor, with an AIDS needle.
Oh, yeah.
Had HIV in a needle, or had a HIV infected needle that they were just pricking people with.
Yeah.
Just those kind of rumors were the regular ass rumors that just went around Florida. Don't wear certain colors in certain neighborhoods. Don't do this. Don't do that. And then you're just like, why not? I'm just not going to test it.
Yep. I'm
But
just
also-
going to stay home.
I'm just going to stay home.
There's
So,
certain days where it's like, Ebor's going to be bad this week. And you go, okay,
okay,
I'm going to go home.
I'll go anywhere but there. Okay, I know now. Thank you. But Cam, I thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me, man. This was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything that that you want to send people to, or just your website, your socials?
Yeah, just find me.
Same bullshit.
Cam the Comic
Yeah.
on everything.
Yeah, you'll be
So.
tagged in these.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some wonderful clips of you supporting Kanye and the music channel. All right, hell yeah, thanks,
Yeah,
buddy.
thanks, bro.
Hey,